What's up YouTube? Hope you're having a great time. Today I'm going to be talking about back training. I'm going to be talking about upper back, rear delts, lats, erectors, the whole shebang. Okay, let's get into it. First off, lats. You can absolutely bias lat fibers. You can bias the upper lats and the lower lats. How do we bias the upper lats? To bias the upper lats, what we need to do is train shoulder extension. The lats are responsible for shoulder extension under shoulder height. Because above that, we have the long head of the triceps and the low pec doing it because they have better leverage, okay? So, first thing we need to train for maximum development of our lats is shoulder extension. Note that this will also train your rear delts very well because your rear delts have better relative leverage all throughout the shoulder extension movement. So they're going to be maximally recruited. Don't get me wrong that your lats are still going to get a lot of motor unit recruitment and they're going to be trained very, very well. But the rear delts also will. So a little tip, if you don't really care about your rear delts that much, I'd recommend you just do shoulder extension so you get lats and rear delts, a pretty good amount of them. Now, the other thing we need to train if we want to maximally develop our lats, and I'd say the thing that you should do if you're only going to do one movement for lats, is something like a frontal plane pullover, commonly known as the Keaton flap, or a lat pull down, which train shoulder adduction in the frontal plane. This will bias the low and middle lat fibers. Now, you also need to keep in mind that your lats have better leverage for adduction from 120 to 50 degrees and below the last 40 degrees of the range of motion is done by your pecs. So I'd recommend not going for a full range of motion on your lat pull downs. And if you're going to do Keaton flaps, please set up the bench and the cable in such a way that you have most resistance at about 50 or 60 degrees. But if that becomes hard and you feel like you have more in the last 40 degrees of range of motion, do it when your arm is somewhere over here. Your lats still have great leverage to adduct there and it's not going to be a huge difference. Moving on to the upper back. Your upper back, your traps and your rhomboids perform the main function is scapular retraction, which is this, right? Not this, that's scapular elevation, but scapular retraction as we do in a row. But a row trains your rear delts, which we don't really need if we don't give that much importance to our rear delts and we already do a sagittal plane shoulder extension. Plus, in a row, your rear delts are going to be the limiting factor. You fail to complete the rowing motion, which includes bringing your arms back because your rear delts, the smaller, weaker muscle that do the thing of bringing your arms back, can no longer do that. But I recommend this if you doubt me. Try going to failure on a set of rows and then try banging out some kelso shrugs, which is pure scapular retraction. I guarantee you, you will get at least one rep of your kelsos. And if you just go to 0 RIR on your rows and then do another set of kelsos, you will 100% be stronger and be able to do more reps or weight. So the best choice for your upper back is a kelso shrug. But if you genuinely dislike them a lot and you don't care a lot for your upper back, you can stick to your rows. No problem with that. Just make sure that you are getting good scapular retraction. Don't worry a lot about the abduction of the arms, bringing them past. Now, your erectors. Your erectors, a lot of people say, are of utmost importance for your back development because your erectors are these two kind of lines that run your entire back from over here to the hip. And their job is spinal extension. You see, my spine is flexed. They extend my spine. They aren't involved in any hip hinging, which is what you do in a deadlift variation, but they will be trained in a deadlift variation because you are holding, because the load is on your upper body, right? You're grabbing onto the bar or whatever it is. And so the weight is traveling through your spine. You need to keep your spine stable, for which your erectors are isometrically contracted. So yes, a hip hinge will be a great option for your erectors, but the best way to train them, as with any other muscle, is isolation. So just isolate pure spinal extension. You can do this on a row machine. You can try a lot of them to figure out if they have the good resistance profile and if they just feel comfortable to perform extension on. Some don't, some do. But don't feel forced to do spinal extension. If you do a hip hinge, just stick with that if you don't want to bother to do extension of the spine, because that will still train your erectors very well. Your erectors are very important, I don't know if I mentioned this, because what they do is they sit under your traps, your rhomboids, your lats, and what they do when you row them is they kind of push everything further back out, and they give your back that dense, that thick look. They make you look much better. They make you look much better not only from the back, because you have more mass, everything is just popping out in front of the spectators, but also from the side, because you don't look flat, you look big and bulky. Hope this helps.